He'll drop $150 on a NECA box, but he can't get a fucking laptop. And they cost $150 now.
Speaking of that, go ahead and check out our YouTube for all our awesome unboxing. Mikey got some for our friends over at Horror Rainbows, is it? Or Candle Rainbows? What is
Oh
it?
my God.
Yeah, it's both of those. Nightmares and Rainbows.
Nightmares and Rainbows. Yeah.
And
both unboxings are great, even though Mikey said otherwise about mine and AIDS.
I mean, mine's better, but it's fine.
Yeah. The numbers speak for themselves, folks.
Oh my God.
Wow. I'm gonna have to do a promotion for mine. That's just because you have the bigger name attached to yours.
It's true. No, 100%. I mean, NECA by itself, I mean, everybody knows the company.
What does NECA stand for?
I actually don't know, to be honest with you.
Oh my God.
Do you know? Either one of you?
Of course I know.
Oh, yeah? Go for it. Let me hear it before you go looking it up. I see your hands. Yeah, folks, check out our YouTube. You'll see Mikey's face as he gives himself up every time.
I'm eating a chip. It's the National Entertainment Collectibles Association.
There you go. I knew that too.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Well, let me get my little
really good side note. I get like this, it's called Lift Box, which it's like workout stuff sent to you every month. And they always send me like snacks that I don't like. And I have protein chips that I'm eating because I just got back from the gym and I'm like hungry, but you know, we had to record at this weird time because somebody has to work tonight. And they're buffalo flavored and it's actually like really good.
You're like, damn it, I like this shit.
I do. Yeah. The chips are dry because most protein stuff is dry, but the flavor is like spot on. It's chips crafted from real ingredients like chicken breast, egg whites, and bone broth, and it's buffalo flavored. Doesn't taste like chicken.
No, they're good. The wild chips, they're good, but they're like $3.99 for that little bag at Publix. And then they have one of those little things in there that they put in the pepperoni packs, and like protein powder to keep it from drying out. Yeah, that thing.
The pillow pack that says not to eat it, but everybody's like, what happens if I eat it?
Well, no, if you're not paying attention, you're just eating them blindly like I do.
Oh my God.
I was like, what the fuck is this? This is how I never bought it again because I chewed on it for a second. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like I didn't even.
I love how Ade like literally just goes, I just put anything in my mouth. It doesn't matter. My hand's in the bag. It doesn't matter.
We don't slut shame in this podcast, Lance.
Clearly, you didn't hear him before you came on. You should have heard the things that he said. What he said about Snow White and putting something in her mouth.
Oh, whoa!
God. Because she's
taking it out of her mouth. Actually,
taking it. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what happened to Lance? Who are you?
Lance doesn't know anything about taking it out, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I'm just, you know what? I cannot. Sorry. I'm just happy his beard is back. That's all I care about.
Oh my God.
Audience, Lance looks like a person again. Yay.
Oh, not a cartoon pirate.
Hey, I got a lot of things about people saying, oh man, you look really great with that. So,
Let's deconstruct that sentence. Hey, I got a lot of things people said to me. That's not good.
They said a lot of things to me, and they said it was great.
Okay, well, you added that last statement, but okay.
Yeah. They said a lot of things. Yeah, I bet they did.
I had a lot of things people said to me, period.
Yeah. He just wanted to look like Lemmy for a month.
Dude, it was still good. I liked it. It was fun.
Well, same political affiliation as Lemmy.
And then he posted that old-ass picture the other day, Mikey. Did you see it?
Which one?
Dude, Ade almost lost her shit because she's like, I can't believe you fucking grew it back just to shave it again. I go, it's an old picture.
Like, why would you do that?
PTSD, Lance.
He did. I was traumatized. Oh my God.
Can you just be nice to us for once, Lance? Jeez.
You know what? He's been so mean lately.
I know.
What?
And then he had the nerve to bother me when I was sick yesterday because my listeners, Mikey hasn't been answering Lance's phone calls. So when Mikey doesn't answer Lance, he calls me.
Well, you know what Lance said the other day? He texted me, "Are you busy?" And I said yes. Then he calls me anyway. I was like, "Yes, Lance."
Mikey goes, all I wanted was some dick pics, and all of a sudden I got me a second boyfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's what happens.
See, you picked the wrong straight guy to try to weasel dick pics out of, and a year later, he's your second boyfriend. Emotions are involved. It's a damn mess.
All right. Well, I'm really excited because today, oh, happy April Fool's, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Just kidding. Okay, got that out of the way.
I know. I don't want to, I don't ever do that because I'm always afraid that that will jinx me and I will end up knocked up. So,
And you can't accidentally get pregnant this day and age.
no, definitely not.
Mm-mm.
So,
Because you
so
can't get
there's
an abortion, Lance. That's the joke.
What? Where? There's always stairs somewhere.
Yeah. Lance throws women downstairs even if they're not pregnant.
So horrible. No, I do not, folks. Just so I said because last time Mikey said something, one of my friends literally goes, "Well, why did you just claim what he said?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You know me."
Lance sees a set of stairs and says, "You know what would go good on those stairs? A woman falling down."
Oh my god. Oh
a
no.
woman with child falling
Yeah.
down.
Lance's love language. Anyways.
Yep. April Fools, folks.
April
Yep.
Fools.
All the things today.
So I did get pranked, and I don't know, you guys probably realized. So Jonathan Sadowski, our friend of the podcast, Jonathan Sadowski, who we met at Spooky Empire a few years ago, posted today that there was a new season of Young and Hungry coming this June, and I was so excited. And I'm like, oh, and I shared it with you guys. And then I started looking at the comments, and somebody was like, every year I fall for this. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. Of course that asshole would post that and get me so excited. No, there is not a new season
I
of
just
Young
saw
and
that
Hungry.
right now and I was like, that show's still on.
I love that. Well, because it basically ended on like a cliffhanger and then they never picked it back up. And I was talking with him about it then, although I don't remember everything he said because I had a couple of drinks, but I'm really sad. You're drinking with me, you fucker. So don't even what me.
Yeah,
I wasn't
Lance.
asking any important questions, so there that is.
It's okay. I just smile.
Wait,
when I
is he the
meet
one that got
people.
mad at me because he kept talking to me instead of you?
No.
No, that was Mike Vogel. He would see
Oh.
everybody. Lance gets everybody mixed up. So, because nobody's as cool as he is apparently. So, anyway.
I don't know about that, but I'm just saying they like having conversations with me sometimes.
Oh, important update. We have a new YouTube subscriber and he called me cute.
Ooh.
Cute and funny. So hi out there. Let me see what his name is. Hi out there. Wicked J.
Ooh,
Oh.
Wicked J. That's not Jake, is it?
No.
Wait, so if you really want to think that Mikey's really cute, we do have a Patreon. It starts off as $1, and you can hear all his secrets on our Patreon. That goes for everybody out there, actually.
Yeah, $1 gets you a monthly hole pick, and we have to guess if it's me or Lance.
It's probably bleached, and it's probably Mikey.
If there's
Hello, Mikey. I don't get Mikey too often, but that one I got him.
I was gonna say if there's silver caught in the field, it's not mine.
Wow. First of all, I don't even have butt hair, really.
How do you know? It's behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked in on him last time squatting over a mirror.
That's my prostate check, and Mikey came along and tried to help me. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, Lance won't go to the doctor, so he has to do it himself.
Or get a friend.
One finger, that's all I need. That feels weird.
I have an inflamed prostate, and one time someone tried to make fun of me for it, and I said, it's just what I call my speed bump.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now.
That's amazing. I'm talking.
I'm done. I'm not
Sorry.
well, everybody.
Welcome back to Slasher's podcast, everybody.
Okay, well, this is Slashers, your favorite horror podcast about your favorite horror media. My name is Ade. Excuse me, I'm a little sick today. And with me, as always, are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, my baby Mikey.
Hello, everybody.
And our Lancey Poo Lance.
What's up, dog? Stole Mikey's line.
He sure did.
Oop.
Yeah. And today marks our very first episode of April, even though we're filming this on April Fools. The first Monday will be on the 7th. So shout out to my cousins Julia and Ashley, because that is their shared birthday.
Julia,
As-
Ashley, whoop whoop, get it, sluts.
Whoop,
Woo!
whoop.
Welcome
Hopefully
to
they
the
don't mind being called sluts.
talk about slut shaming, huh?
I'm raising them up.
Well,
Oh,
I don't even think they listen, so it's fine. But
Oh, okay.
well, in that case,
Have the birthday you deserve.
uh, Lance. And it's also my stepfather's birthday, so yay, happy birthday, Art.
Yay, Art. Who doesn't
I think
answer the
he's
door when someone rings and there's ladies in the house?
I think he's turning 60 too, so it's like a big one.
the big old 6-0, huh?
Oh yeah, and then Lance will be like what, 50 next year? Isn't that weird to think that you and my stepfather are so close in age?
I have a
No.
fan fiction where Lance is my stepfather.
This is what he writes when I'm not around. This is pretty much my.
No, even when he is around, I still write it.
You know what? That is actually true. I will actually. You know what? He
Mm-hmm.
always tells me all the things. I sent him I sent A the same thing, that banana wine, and Mikey just goes, "Ooh, are you trying to hit on me, Lance?"
I know. I was like, banana wine. It's called semen.
Oh God, that was so disgusting. I was disgusted. Disgusted. Like I sat there with a look at my face.
Oh my god. You know, Ade's the first person to be like, going, "I can't believe you would make that." And he goes, "But what's it taste like?"
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it tastes like expired cum. Anyway,
It doesn't
Damn.
expire, just so you know. That's 7 grams of protein per tablespoon.
well,
Vintage
depending how much you
style.
get.
When you get the old kind, you know.
With Lance, it's like with a bunch of dust coming out.
Poof.
You have to mix it in water like a protein shake. Reactivate the enzymes.
Stick it out there. Bra, bra, bra.
This is a disgusting episode. I'm sorry for everyone if this is your first time listening.
This is terrible. It is April. So anyways,
I don't know what's gotten into Aid, but
it's a
Exactly.
it's our wild card April Fools. So the theme this month is that we are going to spring on you all whatever the fuck we feel like. So each week we are picking our own topic, our own movie, whatever we want, because it's a wild card and like there's the Joker is involved with it. So wild card April Fools because the Joker is a fool. So in case you didn't get it, that's why we're calling it that. Anyway,
Explain it. It's not funny.
it wasn't funny. It's called being creative.
Is it?
well, Lance, next time
I've
you come
heard
up
your
with the
lyrics,
same.
Lance, and you're not that creative. So
I don't have to be. Look who's listening to my shit.
Well, he sent me something the other day and it sounded like they were saying, what was it?
I didn't make that up. That's not even my words. So you're about to attack poor Dakota.
Oh,
Aw,
excuse me, poor Dakota.
Dakota Fanning.
Well,
friend
he's
of the
kind of,
show.
I saw his little Facebook picture. He's kind of cute.
Oh, I'll have to
You
look
should
him up.
introduce him to Mikey.
I'm sure his wife and his unborn child is
And
coming.
Mikey, you're gonna love his last name too.
Ooh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
got Fertile Dad Nut. What's his last name? Well, luckily mine is man shot, so let's go.
Yeah.
Today I decided to go first because we were oh, by the way, speaking of, Leslie said that he messaged me the other day and he's like, actually, I really think what's her name? Who plays the new Snow White? What's her name again? Rachel Zegler. Rachel
Yeah.
Zegler is actually really hot.
Ew.
And I'm like, ew. I'm like, I'm gonna tell Mikey he
Leslie.
said that.
Well, he also likes The Boxer's Omen, which is a video format of Rachel Ziegler's looks. So,
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Lucky. Poor girl. She said nothing to us other than just do her job.
Well, she did poorly because the movie bombed. Anyway. But anyway, since we are jumping on the bandwagon, I was like, oh my God, there is a very good Snow White that no one ever talks about.
mhm.
And that is Snow White, A Tale of Terror, back from 1997, starring Sigourney Weaver and Sam Neill. We've got Gil Bellows and we have Monica Keena at 16, by the way, playing this character as the titular Snow White, whose name is Liliana in the movie.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God, because no one ever talks about this movie. And I remember when it came out in 97, I watched it with my mom because she rented it for us. And I was scared of it. I thought it was scary. So, as a kid dealing with Snow White and Snow White itself, like we were talking about before, Mikey mentioned that Snow White's actually a really scary tale. So before we get into it, I wanted to go into the actual story because actually, well, I sent the guys the link before this recording, to which Lance, as usual, was watching the movie at the last minute. So I don't expect him to read anything.
Oh my gosh.
There's no pictures, so
Oh, wow.
it's not a graphic novel, as somebody likes to say.
It's not in Braille. Um,
I mean, you're doing pretty good if it was in Braille.
Mikey was working out and sweating, so I don't expect him to read.
I'm still sweating, everybody. I literally got home from the gym right now. But
He's nice and slick.
I just wanted to mention it's called Dewey. It's the new thing. I wanted to mention because obviously everybody knows who Ripley is. What's her name?
Mm-hmm.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Is there ever someone mentioned they were like, is there anyone else named Sigourney? Like when you think of Sigourney, you just think of Sigourney Weaver. Anyways, there's a drag queen named Sigourney Beaver. That's cute. But Sam Neill, Jurassic Park, Event Horizon, Possession. I'm kind of naming because he's a little less popular than like a Titan like Sigourney Weaver. But Monica Keena, I'm actually a fan of because she's done a lot of indie horror films, but she also did Freddy vs. Jason is probably her biggest thing. She's the main girl in Freddy vs. Jason. She's also in the remake of Night of the Demons. So she's done quite a bit. So Monica Keena appreciation. Whoop whoop. Get it, girl. Go ahead, Abe.
Yeah, no, definitely a good scream queen. She plays a great bitch. I love her in Dawson's Creek.
I didn't even know she was in that.
Yeah, she plays she dies. She plays
Good.
Jen's friend. Yeah, she plays Jen's friend, and well, she isn't Jen's friend at the beginning, but she's like the foil to all of them. Like she messes with all of them, and then I forget what happens, and she dies, and Jen loses it.
Sounds like me
But
on Slasher's podcast. Oh, and I saw this movie so long ago that I didn't know who Sigourney Weaver was or Sam Neill. So it wasn't until like I revisited it a couple of years after I saw it that I was like, oh, that's the girl from Alien.
yeah,
Or woman, I
Sigourney.
should say.
Well, she actually really wanted to do this. She wanted to play the evil queen because it was a role for actually having like she actually understood why the king would be so stupid to marry such a woman, not just unpleasant, but also a killer. She wanted to provide a stepmother with the best intentions of being a mother in the film. So she does present us a sympathetic queen up until a certain point, which I find endearing for her. And it's sort of like when she plays her character, Catherine in Working Girl, which is one of my favorite non-horror movies. Because in the beginning, you're very endeared to Catherine, and like you look up to her the way. I was gonna say, what's uh, what's the daughter's name? Oh my God. Why can I think of her name? Melanie Griffith. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm fucking sick. The way Melanie Griffith looks up to her, in that movie. And I was like, yeah, no, definitely. And Mikey's like, fuck that bitch. I'm like, no, you have to rewatch it because the beginning of the film, like she does try to win over Liliana's love. Like she does try to get her to, like her and because she's in love with the king and she wants she feels like she deserves where she's at in life, and I get it, and she wants her own child. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that with this film, it kind of follows a woman who's broken down so horribly that she fucking snaps. And where does she take all of her anger out on? Obviously, our Snow White,
That bitch.
which is not the case in the actual story. And the actual story of the Grimm story that I read before we got on the podcast, the queen was always evil. She was always a bitch. She was very prideful, and she just loved her looks. And she had her little magic mirror, and she'd ask it every day. And it wasn't until Snow White turned 7 that the mirror told her, "Nay, bitch, you are not the fairest of them all, Snow White." And so she tried to kill Snow White at 7 years old, and that's when Snow White runs away. Snow White is only 7 when all of these terrible things are happening to her.
Damn.
So she gets to which I find hilarious. And then the huntsman, when she sends the huntsman out to kill her, the huntsman's supposed to take out her lungs and her liver, not her heart.
Less poetic.
Exactly. But I guess lungs and liver have like alliteration to it. So it's like flows better off the tongue, I suppose.
Good luck digesting alcohol now, bitch.
Well, the evil queen does eat it thinking that it's Snow White's, which, it's not.
Gross.
I mean, everyone, this is the story, not Sigourney Weaver's movie.
The original source material.
The original source material.
Is it bad to think that, like, the fact that in the book it was at 7? Because I mean, technically, a lot of girls were at that time frame in history were probably being married off at 11. So, like, she was probably in their mindset like a teen.
No, I mean you make a good point because I have a 7 and 8-year-old and I can't imagine because I was
Yeah,
like that's kind of a weird mirror saying that the 7-year-old is the most beautiful because they're still childlike. But you bring a good point that they died around 30 back then because of
Yeah.
disease
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So yeah, way to go,
So
Lance.
it stands to
Yeah,
reason because I know Lance got it, his research for the day.
Oh, so wet.
So in this story, Snow White's mother wants a daughter, with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood.
Racist.
Yeah, red as blood because
I
she
want a
pricked her.
white baby. Can you imagine that these days?
Well, she pricked her finger. So she was sitting in front of a black windowsill and she was weaving something and she pricks her finger, just like the other one that fell asleep. What's her name? Sleeping Beauty. And the 3 drops drip on the snow and she thought it was so beautiful. So then she wanted her daughter. But the book is weird because it says, I want my daughters white as snow, red as blood, and black as ebony.
Oh yeah, the hair, the
Like,
red, the lips, and the
and then
skin.
yeah. So, but there's no like differentiation what she wants black as ebony and what she wants white as snow. So we could have had an opposite Snow White here. Anyway,
She's just black with red hair and white lips.
exactly. So, so moving it along, it stands to reason though that all of the things that happen to Snow White are because she's 7 years old. Because the dwarves fall in love with her, they love her, but they say you can only stay as long as you cook and clean for us. Okay, fine.
Earn your keep, girl.
But when she got there, the cabin was very neat already, and she did a Goldilocks and Three Bears. So I wonder if I don't know which one came first, but she had to try out every bed to see which one was the best, and the seventh dwarf had the softest bed. And so they let her stay, and they keep telling her every time they leave, listen, don't let anybody in. And every time they leave 3 times. The first time they leave, she lets the fucking old bag in, which is the evil queen, because the evil queen knows. And the evil queen is selling dresses or garments. So she like puts a corset on her and then ties it too tight, and Snow White suffocates and she runs away and she's like, ha ha ha. Well, the dwarves get home, they cut the corset open, and now she's good to go. And the
The
witch is
fuck does a
pissed.
7-year-old need a corset for?
I know. So the second day,
Gotta learn fast, man.
They're all shaped like balloons.
It's like the poor what is it uh in Asia where they did the feet where
Oh, the
the
feet binding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I can only imagine that's Europeans' version of.
this is before Ozempic, everyone. Come on.
Oh
my-
yeah, we need it back.
So second day, they leave and they tell her again, don't let anybody in. So what does Snow White do? She lets another sales lady in who
It's great.
gives her a poison comb. So she sells her the comb first, and then after she sells her the comb, she's like, "Oh, let me comb your hair," and then she combs her hair with it. And Snow White drops dead. Okay, Queen runs away. Ha ha ha! I'm the fairest of them all. But the dwarves get home, take the comb out, and Snow White comes back to life.
What a dumb bitch. You should just let her die.
I know.
I mean,
So
she is
the-
7, I guess.
Yeah, let's not forget that point of the whole story. She's 7. She's like anything she's learned is out the door.
And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So the third day she leaves. They leave. They go again. We keep telling you, do not let anybody in this house. So they leave. And what does she do? She sees a different lady selling apples or some bullshit. And she goes, oh, I can't let you in. The dwarves will not allow me to let you in. She goes, okay, you don't have to let me in. So she hands her the apple through the window and she's like, we can split it and I'll eat the white half and you eat the red half, even though the white half isn't poison, the red half is. So, of course, she eats it. She chokes.
I need to see
Blah.
this apple.
Yeah. And so she,
So she's saying, you eat the skin, I'll eat the flesh, or the inside.
the half the apple is white, according to the Brothers Grimm, because the apple is poisoned by witchcraft. And the red half is the poison half. That's the pretty half. So that's the half that she gives to
How
Snow
many
White.
signs does this bitch need
Exactly.
to know you don't need that comb, you don't need this candy cane looking apple? Like,
Well, she's only 7 again. So
Oh
she
well.
eats it, drops dead. The dwarves come home, but they can't revive her this time. So she doesn't decay, so they decide to put her in a glass coffin so they can just watch her because she's still so beautiful. And a lot of time goes by, and then of course the prince comes through the woods and he's like, "Oh, I think she's just so beautiful and I want her for myself and I'm just in love with her and she's so beautiful." And he begs the dwarves to let him take her and they agree. So his people pick up the casket and somebody trips and the apple dislodges from her throat, just like in this movie. This is the only source material that was true. She wakes up and the prince takes her and they go off to get married. And they invite, so this is where the chisme comes in because they invite the evil queen to come. And the evil queen is like going back and forth. Do I go? Do I go to the wedding? Do I go to the wedding? So she goes to the wedding because she's still, her pride will not allow her not to go to the wedding. And when she gets there, they present her with these shoes that they dipped in hot coals, these iron shoes, and they make her dance in the hot iron shoes until she falls dead. The end.
Would that kill you, or would it just burn your feet?
Well, she
Well,
had to dance until she died. So,
okay. And I actually want to say there's another tie into the original story, a little nod to it, and it's whenever Sam Neill has to cut Snow White out of her mother in the beginning, and the blood goes all around the snow, or all through the snow.
that's true. Like Snow White. Yeah, and it's the mother's blood too. So, which is pretty okay. So, a couple fucked up things about a Snow White Tale of Terror. So, if you are not a fan of infanticide, I'm just kidding. Not infanticide, I don't want to say that, but if you are not a fan of somebody being, cut out of the womb
Inside, think inside,
inside,
everybody.
or burning a dead baby in a bonfire,
Jesus.
Well, she gonna burn it.
just throw the body in the bonfire. Fuck it. Like it lands with a thud. Like
Oh
this
my
is
goodness.
terrible. If you those things trigger you, I would not recommend this one. But it is the 90s after all, so we can kind of get away with some things. But yeah, I first of all, I guess we can just go around the room really quick. Initial thoughts. Mikey, you'd seen this before. Did you like the movie? Do you like it now? What's up with
Oh
it?
yeah, I'm very surprised because when I saw it as a kid, I liked it, and I remember the one part that always stuck out to me was I always thought it was like super cool and creepy when she's knocking the pillars over to knock the trees over in the forest.
Mm.
I thought that was super cool, and I don't know why it always just stuck with me. And when I was a kid watching it, not knowing who anybody was, I thought it was really creepy and I liked it. Then I for some reason, because I felt like back then no one talked about it even less than they do now. And I had like this weird like brain thing that was like, remember that Snow White movie? And I was like, let me rewatch it. And so I actually bought it on DVD a while ago when I was like 20 or something, and I rewatched it, and I was like, this is really good. And that's Sigourney Weaver, and that's Monica Keena. It was after Freddy versus Jason came out, because that's when I really knew who Monica Keena was. I heard someone say this one time, and I always think about it when movies were made back then, because went straight to Showtime. This was not a theatrical release. This was
Mm-hmm.
almost straight to It skipped
Mm-hmm.
VHS and went to Showtime, but then it went to VHS. And they I forget where I heard it. Someone said back then when you were filming on film, everything you filmed cost money, so you took it seriously. Whereas right now you have all these shitty movies coming out because it's all digital. You can just delete it if you don't want to use it. But filming any second of anything takes a resource that's not infinite like a digital resource. So it really shows. And I didn't I was reading about the trivia today because as soon as I saw the arm, not the armor, the mirror's hands, because the mirror has a cover and it has hands that intertwine, I'm like, what a detail. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's just so many, the set designs, because it does kind of play. I was wondering when I was watching it, it plays kind of like a old 90s, almost like a Xena or like Hercules type vibe.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yeah, and like that's kind of the vibe, but like it's definitely a different tone. But like film wise and quality wise, that's what it reminds me of. Not saying it's low quality at all because it's great. But this time watching it, you get more of an appreciation that the evil queen in this story is almost like a sympathetic character, because she tries to win her over. She tries to give the olive branch, or whatever the term is, extend the olive branch. And kids can be pieces of shit sometimes, and she unfortunately just didn't have the patience to deal with it. And then I'm wondering how a movie released in theaters, you know how we all have the horror versions of Bambi coming out, Winnie the Pooh, all those things we talk about. I wonder how
Hmm.
that would have fared in the late 90s. Like, would people have been okay with that? Because even though times were a lot better back then, I feel like people were a little more sensitive to that stuff. But
Well, I also think that unfortunately, like typecasting, even like for characters, you know what I mean? Like we're so used to certain things being a certain way. Like if an actor played like the Superman character or a Batman character or Jason, you mean like could you imagine seeing, Freddie being any other person, being I mean the actor that is. Like it's people only want to pigeon things and want them to be the same thing. So I can imagine like Winnie the Pooh or any of those things. You'd be like, no, I can't have my Winnie the Pooh be a murderous bear. Like so. I think that's
I
the
can.
weird thing. I mean, I can too, but
Well, Lance, what do you think of the film?
I thought it was all right. Like, I mean, I like the fact that it tried to stay away from like the normal things of the Disney movie. So I mean, technically, this movie would be kind of like the Winnie the Pooh ones, the ones that we're getting now. It seemed like it was still trying to stay in the realm of it, but kind of get a little of the storyline, kind of be realistic, like any like movie that they put out now, where it's like where you think of like a comic book movie or whatever it is, they try to put it in some kind of reality to so people like, okay, if this wasn't a comic book, this would be a thing. Well, if this wasn't a story that Disney did as their first theatrical release, how would it be if it was in actual real life? And I think that was cool of it, but some of the stuff was like just cheesy,
You
honestly.
didn't like the love story. I'm so disappointed.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the small people, the minors who weren't even like
Oh,
even small people. So
okay, so the dwarves. So in this film, they are not dwarves. There's one dwarf or little person, but the rest of them are grown men. I mean, like, normal sized men.
and more
And
rapey than the last time.
yes, they are a little bit worse for wear. One of them in particular tries to assault her, and they kick him out right away. So that's good. I think that obviously yes, that is good because they're like, okay,
Hmm.
we don't want your rapey ass here. You got to go.
Yeah, Lance.
Like I would have been hot if his teeth weren't so nasty. Um,
Of course, Aid liked him.
Wow.
uh,
Lance.
What? Don't act
Gil,
like you didn't like him too, either, Mikey. I saw the smile.
Gil Bellows was hot as fuck too with that scar on his face. I'm like, hello, Gil, how you
Yeah.
doing? Um, which I love him and my Ally McBeal. But anyway, I don't know if he's doing anything now. That's interesting because didn't he? Yeah, he was in he and speaking of, Gil Bellows was also in a Stephen King film. Um,
Was he
what's
in
the
the
one
stand?
with no, the Morgan Freeman movie? Oh God, why can't I think? Shawshank Redemption.
Mhm. Oh,
Oh yeah.
he's dead.
Gil Bellows is dead?
No,
No,
April Fools.
I was like gonna say I just saw him in something just recently.
I had to get one
Gil,
April Fool's joke out of the way.
Gil Bellows is dead? What?
I don't even know who that is. I tried
He,
looking at his IMDb and it was a bunch of Ally McBeal posters, and I was like, whatever. I didn't watch that shit.
So he played, that's a great show, by the way, but he played Billy and Ellie McBeal, but he was, he broke his breakout role, I think, was the Shawshank Redemption because he was in prison with Andy and he was going to help Andy get out because he actually knew who was the real person who killed his wife. And the guards murdered him for it because, Andy does their taxes and they can't let him get out of prison. So
Spoiler, folks, just in case you haven't seen the movie.
I just ruined Shawshank Redemption for the whole world.
It's like I was like, oh, we're gonna go that far into the storyline. Okay.
Anyway,
Never
but
seen it.
I thought it was interesting because now when I was a kid, I don't remember any of this. I remember them being like large people, like regular sized people. I don't, I did remember that they weren't dwarves, but I didn't remember that she had like an illicit affair with one of them.
I
And mind you,
mean, she didn't have much of a selection going on.
she didn't. But, but I like that she found, I think her being in that situation helped her grow up because at the beginning of the movie, she was a total fucking brat. Like
Uh-huh.
all she cared about was the prince, or the doctor. I forget his fucking name in the movie. Patrick, Peter,
Dr.
David.
Kevorkian. Throwback to last week's episode.
But yeah, so in the beginning, she's like obsessed with him, and that's why she doesn't wear the dress that the queen asked her to wear. The queen brought her a dress that she used to wear when she was a kid, and wanted her to put it on. And she, and the lady's about to pop. She's 9 months pregnant. Like this fucking brat, as a teenager, as you would, tells her, whatever. I don't want to wear it. I want to wear something special. And like Sigourney Weaver's like, this is special. Like it's special to me. And, instead of just being like, okay, fine, I'll fucking wear it, she finds a dress of her mother's and wears it and comes out at the exact moment that Sigourney Weaver has her solo singing, ruins her fucking solo, and then has this weird incestuous dance with her father.
Creepy as fuck, by the way, folks.
Because clearly her father is still heartbroken over the mother's death, right? So he probably sees her and she looks just like her, and it's like, oh yay. And again, once, showing Sigourney Weaver that she is number two.
Mm-hmm.
So
number two.
And obviously that upset her seeing this, as anybody would be upset. Like, first of all, you didn't wear the dress I asked you to wear. You came late. She was late too, which, I'm always late, so I can't get mad at her for that. And she basically upstages her performance, and like takes all the attention away from her. And then all of a sudden, all these pains happen, and her husband doesn't even realize like she's fucking convulsing and she's passing out and she's about to, drop right there. And she loses the baby. And I think, and that is where it snaps, because had the baby been born and everything been fine, little Miss Priss would have just went off and married the doctor, who, by the way, has no problem making out with Sigourney Weaver at any moment that he can in the film. And and that would have been it, right? Because she would have had her baby, and that's what she wanted. She wanted her own child. Maybe she wanted a child that would actually love her, because Liliana was so, hell-bent on being, against her entire life. And it's sad. It's really sad. And then she loses the only thing that she knows that ties her to her husband, because he really wants a son. And now she can't have any more children. And like, just, it's sort of like a metaphor, I think, for women who feel that their only worth to a man is if they can bear children. And now that one thing that she could do for her husband to get his attention is now taken away. And so she fucking snaps. And who's she going to pin it all on?
Mm-hmm.
Monica Keena. Monica Keena's going to get it. So
Monique Keena.
Monique, what you do, girl? So sends her weirdo brother to go get her. And yeah, then she disappears, falls in a ravine. She's picked up by the 7 men.
She's lost in the forest and she can't figure her way back. A's like, she fell down a hole though, and I'm like, okay, like climbing back out of the hole.
But again, this is also indicative of her immaturity, right? Because she doesn't really grow as a person. I think in a way she sort of grows, because she does feel bad for the queen. She tells her, can you forgive me? I've been horrible to you my whole life. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But at that point, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, bitch, I don't forgive you. Bye. Anyway, so the brother brings her back a pig's heart and not her real heart. And she puts it in the stew to feed to the father, which I find hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
She just drops it in the cauldron.
Well, she also rubs it all over her body.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Which is kind of hot.
Well, that's like an Elizabeth Bathory kind of thing, right? Where she wants to stay young. Because again, as a woman, this is, dealing with this, and the Brothers Grimm brought this up, but they wrote it through a male's perspective, that women are just so prideful in this, that, yes, Lance, I'm talking to you, are so prideful.
First person I thought of.
How men perceive women to just be vain. But the problem is that society has us this way because we are only worth a damn to any man unless, if we look good and we do the things that you ask or you want us to do, right? Like the minute we start losing our looks is the minute we lose our worth to the world, not just men, but to everyone, right? And so, you could be in your 50s like Jennifer Lopez. She's 54 years old. She looks amazing. So everybody accepts her. But, if she looks like Sigourney Weaver behind me, we'd have, the society would have some problems. So, this is my issue. And so she's losing the only thing that she has. So I don't know if the mirror necessarily is magical in the film. I guess it is, but also it's is it all in her head? Like she's just so fucking obsessed.
Well, it
Like
kills the nanny.
yeah, because the
So
last thing that she has is her look. She can't do anything else. And if she's not the fairest in the land, fuck it. Let's get rid of the one thing that is,
The mirror is all about women's rights until she kills the women off.
well, Lance, I mean, and I only use Lance as an example because he typically dates women much younger than him. Okay.
Whoa, what?
Well, but it's true. Why do you
Lance,
date girls that much
you.
younger?
Much younger than you is a very wide age range, so don't freak out. We're not saying anything.
No, my thing again is you got to understand is I only go by the idea of the personality, who the people are. You know what I mean?
Mm.
What
The
is
rest of
it?
that stuff doesn't matter other than the fact that, the law, which you shouldn't be doing anything with anybody under the age of 18, please.
Oh my God, no one even mentioned anything about
20s
that.
and 30s, Lance.
And 40.
20s and 30s.
My thing again, it's about who you are as a person. I don't give a shit about any of the other stuff. But my thing is, sometimes some people grow up faster. Like you said, she didn't have any fucking clue, and she was a little bratty little girl. Like, now if you're into that, I guess, sure, whatever. But most people aren't. So I would imagine she wouldn't be that way. Also, let's figure out this too: is women are with the children and the sons before anyone else is, and women are expected to take care of children, quote unquote. So if they want to instill in men the qualities of being more kind to women, it starts with women. So there that is.
So you're blaming the patriarchy on women?
Mm-hmm.
Do the men in this time frame have anything to do with the children until it's needed? Who have the more direct contact with women? It would be the child all the time, constantly. So if you're going to instill in your child to be a better person, you would.
I don't know. I just remember when Lance told me, what was it? The riper the fruit, the juicier.
I've never said that.
The riper the fruit, the sweeter the juice.
The older the beer, the sweeter the juice.
Oh my goodness.
Well, if they don't cancel us today,
No, again, I think you should love whoever you love. You know, what I mean, as long as it's not
well,
illegal.
no, but I'm saying as far as as far as you're concerned, when you're attracted to somebody, they're good. Most of the time, you are attracted to girls that are younger than you, and so I'm just saying, women feel a certain way. Like I feel a certain way. Like if I'm out and about, in public, and I see like the 20-something-year-olds. Well, Gen Z. I'm so sorry, Gen Z, but I don't know what y'all are doing. So, but every now and again, there's some young ones that look nice. And I'm just like, I feel that, the older I get, it's a horrifying thing. And I only say this as a woman because I can relate to these things. Men get better with age. Okay. Most of them do. Like most men start looking better. Look at Paul Rudd. Look at, even Sam Neill, for Christ's sake. Like he looks way better in this movie than he did in Possession. And Possession was like what, 1981, and this was 97?
Yeah.
Okay, so, men just tend to age better, whereas sometimes women are not, it, not that they don't age better, but like if they don't look exactly how they looked before, like we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. Like I'm damned if I get my Botox, because, oh, you're doing something natural to your face. But if I just let my eyebrows droop into my, cheekbones, then you guys are gonna be like, well, look at that old hag. So, you know what I mean? It's a catch-22. And I feel that, societal pressure has made the evil queen into the person that she is.
Oh my God.
And because of all of these things, she has no choice but to exact revenge on the one person that, could have made her life a little bit easier and should have been on her side and was not. And that is Liliana. So Liliana, in spite of all this, Liliana actually matures and grows up and realizes that even though the minor is not necessarily the rich, gorgeous doctor coming to save her, he still looks out for her interests, her well-being. The doctor wanted to bury her, and he said, "Nay, open the casket. She's still alive. I believe she's alive." And he's the one who saves her, not the prince. And I love that twist. And I love that.
He didn't get his nasty mouth on her.
He didn't even have to kiss her. He shook the little piece of apple out.
Mhm.
I mean, it could be the fact that, at that time frame, that dude was probably in his 20s and she was still 16.
She was 7, first of all. Let's get it straight.
Was she? Yeah, in the original story, but in this,
Oh,
as an
you mean in the
actor.
movie?
Yeah, in the
And the
movie.
movie.
In the movie, she's
I thought they were
16. I'm
talking about
pretty
in the
sure.
original story.
Oh
No,
my
no.
God.
Which, again, also would be horribly misplaced scenarios.
What a problematic
Anyway.
story. You know what? I'm on Rachel Ziegler's side now.
Oh God. Well, anyways, so having said that, not to say that I look terrible, but one day I will be older. And you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So we'll see.
There's nothing
Come
you
talk
can
to me then.
do
There's nothing we can do.
except embrace the old bitter hag and get a magic mirror.
Exactly. Anyway, so a little bit of trivia. This actually, the budget for it to go straight to fucking Showtime is a travesty. 26 to 30 million dollars they spent. They shot it in location, I think, in Switzerland, right? And all of the time, effort, and the actors that they got in this movie to just put it on Showtime. And I was looking to find out why they did it. But I feel like there's a lot of different things that get like going against it. So they're like, fuck it, we'll just put it on Showtime. Which, okay, fine. But again, at the time, like Mikey was saying, everything costs money. And for them to do that, just kind of shitty. I mean, I think
Mm.
that's why it fell through the cracks because no, who the fuck had Showtime back then?
Yeah, but that's the thing is, and maybe they looked at it as in a subscription. Yeah, like maybe it was a subscription and saying, hey, we're bringing quality movies that you could get at the theater but at your home. So maybe that's what the way I mean, it's the same thing that Netflix does these days now when they make movies and stuff like that. I mean, you're looking at subscriptions and dollars, not as in the same as people. And back then you couldn't even share it. So I mean, each person at a household, you know what I mean, it'd be one TV. So
Yeah. And well, and it did pretty well. It won a lot of awards. It was nominated for a lot of Emmys. Particularly Sigourney Weaver was praised for her performance. So, there's a lot of great things about this. I don't think Sam Neill was used as much as he could have been used in the film. Like, I feel like his part was like very minuscule and it was kind of meh. He probably would have had a bigger part, but I'm sure it got cut. I mean, I can imagine because the movie isn't very long. It's like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. So
Unless maybe he was busy making Event Horizon at the same time.
that's
Schedule
true.
conflicts.
That's true. But again, Alicia Silverstone, this part was actually written for her, Snow White. So I wonder how different it would have been or how different it would have been received had she been in it because isn't she just coming off the heels of Clueless, right?
Yeah,
So
I saw that, but I don't know how she would look with black hair. She had very dark hair in The Lodge, but she's also much older.
yeah, but
I mean, she
she,
was afraid of the casting. Like the like we were just talking about it. I mean, if she was in Clueless, people are expecting gonna go, oh, it's the Clueless girl.
Yeah.
In a Snow White where it would take away from the storyline because everybody's waiting for her to go as if through the whole time.
Well, Monica Keena also kind of has like baby fat in her face. Actually, Alicia Silverstone did too.
yeah, she was
Would
like
this
super
have been
young.
before or after Clueless?
Clueless came out, I think, in 96, right? Or no,
97.
Clueless, when did, oh, 95. Clueless came out because I know it turned
Mhm.
30. Clueless came out in 95.
So
Ugh.
she's probably older. She would have been older,
She would have
right?
been older, but I mean, she was so cute back
Oh
in the
yeah, she's
day.
adorable. I
Yeah.
can't see her with black hair.
Oh wow, because this supposedly on Rotten Tomatoes only got like 55%, and then like even the audience at 56%, like bad, like no one liked it.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
understand that, to be
people
honest.
were saying that it was drawn out. I was reading some of the critic reviews. They said it was a little drawn out, that nothing happens. And I'm like, what do you mean nothing happens? But,
There are parts.
Lance is nodding his head. But the thing is like, you have to, what do you appreciate? Do you appreciate the style? Do you appreciate the sets? Like, are you looking at the film? Um, it kept my attention as a kid. So I think that it's important that we at least say that because Mikey enjoyed it as a kid too. Because I was only like, what, eight or nine when this movie came out.
Yeah. But did you see
So,
this before or after the cartoon version, the original or the Disney version?
oh, after Snow White, when the all the Disney movies were coming out on VHS, my mom was buying them for us. So we hit Snow White because it was the first one to come out.
Yeah.
So we had it for years.
Because I'm wondering if maybe people that rated it bad, if it's like before all these stupid live action remakes were happening,
Hmm.
um, people that may have rated it bad before maybe were like, oh, it's not true to the cartoon, because they probably, even less people probably knew back then that it was actually a Grimm story, because we didn't really talk about it. It wasn't until
No.
like the internet age that we were like, oh, these are actually like fucked up stories from this storybook. And so maybe people thought, oh, this is a ripoff of Disney's Snow White, and it's nothing like it because there's no kiss, there's no, dwarves. Maybe that's why they were like, "Meh."
Well,
Well,
I would hope.
go.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like Mikey's saying, but I mean, we were kind of talking about it earlier. It was like, what if we had the Blood and Honey, and we put it in the '90s? This is basically what that would have been. You know what I mean? For all purposes. I mean, not as horror based as Blood and Honey is, like, where it's like straight up, like slasher kind of like with them with the characters, and it's like totally off base from anything. It's just basically those characters murdering people. Where this is
Yeah.
actually still in the storyline, but I mean, people weren't ready for that or weren't going to accept that. Like, it was like, hey, no, she's supposed to get kissed. No, she's supposed to have the apple. You know what I mean? Like, they still had to keep some of those things in there and be like, oh, because I mean, like, the fact that she was pregnant, you know what I mean? You're like, ooh, what happened? I mean, even on our last episode, we couldn't even remember if she was the evil stepmom or just the evil witch.
Yeah.
So like,
Because
obviously,
to me, I get it confused with Cinderella.
yeah.
Yeah, well, Cinderella's her stepmom too. I mean, it's a lot of
Mhm.
stepmoms actually, and these are like a recurring theme. So, I mean, I feel like the Grimm brothers had some issues with women, but and the film itself is rated R. It's pretty gory for what it is because I mean, it's called a tale of terror. It is considered horror. It is classified under horror, but it's also under fantasy and other things of that nature. But it's not tame by any means. Like I don't think
Oh no.
I wouldn't show this to your like I mean I would show it to your 10-year-old, but like don't be like, oh, the little girl's coming over. Let's watch a live action Snow White and then throw this on um at the at the
Yeah.
slumber party.
And also there's quite a bit of sex and female to male rape. Wait, did I say that right? Male rape by
Yeah.
a female.
Oh, the witch to the dad.
They mean the
Oh
stepmother
yeah.
to the dad.
Yeah. Which is basically just like, I don't care if you're ailment right now. Let's do this.
Well,
I
he
actually
wasn't
kind of like that.
complaining.
Though.
What did you say?
That's what I kind of like that part because I thought
Oh my
it was a
God.
reverse thing, which I thought was kind of funny, where it's like you don't see it too often. So it was kind of like one of those like things like I do like seeing things where you're like reversal type stuff where you're like he's like, oh, I don't feel like it. She's like, I don't care. It's like, damn, all right.
Oh, he wasn't complaining. But oh, and then last thing, the fucking baby hand at the end. I was like, how this bitch get this baby back alive? Like, what are we doing? What happened to it? Did they say? Did it get flipped into the fire? Like, I don't even know what happened. I can't remember.
I think the fire got it again. I mean,
Again. Put it back. Put it back. Double baked potato.
yeah, I was like, because what was it? It's like supposedly like it was gonna come back to life if it bathed in the husband's blood.
Oh,
The
that's
kid's blood.
right.
And then I thought he was dead. So like I'm like, oh, and then it was still alive, or she did some weird thing with the hand, kind of like, no, it's still alive. Did like a little weird puppet hand thing. We're like, yeah, and then she was making
She
the sounds.
she had a puppet hand in the thing.
Oh my
That's
god,
what you're saying.
yeah, like it's how cheesy it looked, folks. I'm just saying, like,
It did not.
oh, it kind of did.
It looked like the little hand that comes through the telephone in Leprechaun.
You know, it looks like this little hand. You know, these little hands, like, things like that, the sneaky ones. And then the ones where like people will touch you in your face. If you're on YouTube and you check us out there, you'll see which hands I'm talking about. But like people have that little hand and they just randomly just rub against people's faces and people get upset. Like it's a thing.
I'm upset looking at that. Stop
I
flicking
mean-
me off, Lance.
What are you talking about?
You
This
probably
right-
shouldn't be caressing people's faces with external apparatuses.
Exactly. Oh my God. Now Lance is playing. Listen, if you see the YouTube, you can watch Lance playing with his finger.
Mhm.
Having said that, well, I mean, I enjoyed it. 97 was a good year. Oh, and I also wanted to point out that Alien Resurrection also came out in 97. So both Sam Neill and Sigourney Weaver were both busy with their respective horror movies. So good for them.
Space horror movies.
Mm.
Yes. And Monica Keena also was in a relationship with Edward Furlong, and I think they still are. So I think that's where she dropped off. And I don't want to blame him for her drop off because I feel like she has dropped off in a way because I've seen her in interviews. The last thing I saw her in was in the that 4-hour documentary on Nightmare on Elm Street, Never Sleep Again, which is a really good documentary if y'all haven't seen it. I think it's on Tubi right now. I highly recommend it. And she's in it a lot, obviously, talking about Freddy versus Jason. And bless her heart. So I don't know if she's still with them, if they're still in this volatile relationship. But
I think he's been clean for like a while now, actually. Yeah, because
Well,
I think I saw him on the dude who played Lex Luthor on Smallville. He has his own podcast, and he was on
Michael Rosenbaum. I love him.
Yeah. And I follow him, and he had a thing with Edward, and I think he's been clean for almost 5 years or something close to that, or if not more.
Well,
So,
that's good.
Good for him.
Edward Furlong did not age well, so I will not put that about him as a man. But anyway, maybe he's looking better now that he's clean. Bless his heart. Anyways, thoughts and prayers, lovely gowns. We're coming up to the end of the episode. I enjoyed this. I'm glad that we're doing our own whatever the fuck we want this month. And I am dreading what Lance will pick at this point.
I cannot wait. It's going to be the first actor's appearance in a movie.
He's going to forget about it anyway. So
I'm literally going to find it right now after we're done here, and I'm going to send it to both of you.
All right. So
it's going to be Trancers with Helen Hunt.
Why do you do that?
I'm not watching that.
Is it Trancers?
It's not Trancers, but like he says that to me and I'm like, damn it, do I want to do that? You can do anything now.
Why are you giving him ideas?
Well, I thought that's what he was.
It's your own fault, Mikey.
Sorry. We're not.
It's going to be some kind of Charles Band flick that was in his old castle back in the day. So,
and he sits here and tells us what we pick isn't horror, and then he thinks about bringing a movie on like Trancers.
But I wouldn't, because I know it's not horror. I mean, technically, it's a sci-fi, really more.
Well, I don't know what horror is, anyways. So
horror.
Sorry, folks.
Isn't that a Jewish dance?
Wow.
Horror.
No.
Okay. Is that it?
That's the Dougie.
Let's all dance horror.
Oh my God.
Anyway, if you want to see our faces while we ramble and figure out what Lance's word of the week is, not Trancers, check out our video cast over at youtube.com/slasherspodcast. Plus, don't miss our bi-monthly deep dives into all things horror nerdy at the Comic Shop, only on YouTube. A hot collab, a Slashers podcast, and much ado about nerding. Our fitness challenge closed. Leslie won.
Yay,
and then we had
Leslie.
Yay! And then Joe was in second. Mikey in third.
Yeah, only because I hurt myself and had to take a weekend off.
He hurt himself. I'm so sorry, boo-boo. I got sick, so that's when I fell off. And fucking Isaac Gutierrez decided to bump me out of my spot, but Mrs. Lowe was in fourth place. Cheyenne.
Miss Lowe.
Go
Wait,
up. Good.
You weren't even in the top 5? Wow.
No, because fucking Isaac Gutierrez and Joe, you can tell him I said that, bumped me out of my spot at the last fucking minute.
Is that a nerd?
I don't know that he's a nerd. So Isaac, I suck it because I'm getting you next time. But anyways, yeah, he bumped me to 6, and I'm like, fuck it, I can't recover. I can never financially recover from this. So there's that. That was fun. Let's do another one soon. So if you want to join us on Patreon for monthly exclusive reviews and join our fitness challenges, bonus episodes, and some new killer perks, head on over to patreon.com/slasherspod and become part of the band. If you want to rock some Slashers swag, our merch is available on Redbubble, where you support loud and proud, slasherspod.redbubble.com. Don't forget to check us out at the Atomic Horror Mart on Sunday, April 27 from 1 to 6. If you're in Orlando, come out and see us. We're hanging out on Instagram at SlashersPod for everything podcast related, at Mutant Goons from Beyond for all things weird and wonderful. And you can find us on social media. Ade at Pathologically ADE, Mikey at Horror and a Half Shell, Lance at Zombie vs Hate. If you can't figure out the devil box known as Instagram, then find us on Facebook and come chill in the Mutant Goons from Beyond group for all the chaos. Shout out to our B-Movie TV fam. Catch Doug on Friday Night Action and Yahira on Saturday Night Terrors only on Roku. Mikey is coming to Orlando the same week that this episode comes out for a film festival. So if you are out and about in Winter Park that weekend, come check it out. What is the festival called again, Mikey? I'm sorry.
The Florida Film Festival.
The Florida Film Festival. Whoops. I know. They have some showings downtown too. I should know that.
It's actually at Enzion, if you're a local Orlando person. That's where it's happening, I think. And Winter Park Village is where they're maybe showing some of the movies as well.
Yeah, and go see Spray Bottle because that's why I'm going, because it's the premiere of the movie that I was in with Jenna Cornell.
Yes. Yes. And Jenna Cannell, star of Terrifier Part 1. Mikey is in Spray Bottle with her. Really excited to see. I can't wait. So make sure you come out and join us if you're in Orlando at that time. Anyways, shout out to our B-movie. Oh, sorry, we already said that. Just kidding. Love you guys. A big thanks to our amazing Patreon patrons. Sorry, Leslie, for calling you out today, but I told you I was going to tell Mikey on you. Josh Good, dinosaurs will always be awesome. My mom, Lorene, Kevin, Vlad, Leslie, again, and Cam. If you want to join them, head on over to patreon.com/slasherspod and become part of the horror family. As always, thanks for listening, and remember to stay spooky. Goodbye and good die.
Goodbye. Don't die.
Die.
Bye. Mikey, don't make fun of those.
That wasn't me. Don't blame that on me.
It was the wild chips, I know.
I saw your green screen quivering behind you when you did that.
Joke's on you, I don't have it up today.
Yeah, I was gonna say she doesn't even have it up.